Part A. Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between two people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Number 1.
Carla said that you're rather rude.
It's unfair of her to say that about me.
What does the man mean? Number 2.
I don't think this painting is very good.
It's better than the first one, isn't it?
What does the woman say about the painting? Number 3.
Your graduation ceremony is this afternoon.
I can't believe it. I've graduated at last.
What does the man mean? Number 4.
I got this dress for only $5.
$5? How did you get it so cheap?
What does the man mean? Number 5.
I just got my 3rd parking ticket this week.
Why don't you try putting more money in the parking meter when you park your car?
What does the woman suggest that the man do? Number 6.
These dorm rooms could certainly use a new coat of paint.
I'll say.
What does the woman mean? Number 7.
Are you ready to work on the history paper?
I will be in a couple of minutes. I have to finish the math problems before I start on history.
What does the man mean? Number 8.
Do you know where the file folders are?
Sorry, I don't. They were moved, and now I don't know where they are.
What does the woman imply about the folders? Number 9.
We seem to have a difficult problem to solve.
The problem is not unrepairable.
What does the man mean? Number 10.
I hope we don't have a quiz today. I'm not really very prepared on the material for today.
I don't think we will. This professor rarely, if ever, gives quizzes.
What does the man mean? Number 11.
We have another history exam on Friday, and I hope this one isn't as hard as the last one.
You can say that again.
What does the woman mean? Number 12.
Is the room ready for the conference?
I don't think it's been set up.
What does the man say about the room? Number 13.
Are you going to be able to stay up and study for the exam?
I'm not sure. I'm on my last legs.
What does the woman mean? Number 14.
What did you think of the guest speaker?
I was fascinated by his ideas.
What does the man mean? Number 15.
How's the weather today?
It's just not as humid as it was last week.
What does the man say about the weather? Number 16.
I haven't turned in my schedule change form yet. Do you think that's a problem?
You haven't turned it in yet? It's absolutely essential that you turn the form in immediately.
What does the man mean? Number 17.
I'd like to try on some rings, please.
Do you prefer rings in gold or silver?
Where does this conversation probably take place? Number 18.
Look at this. You made an awful lot of long-distance calls last month.
I called my family even more than usual. That's why the bill's so much higher than usual.
What are the man and woman probably discussing? Number 19.
What do you think of your new boss?
I couldn't be more impressed with him.
What does the woman mean? Number 20.
Mike, do you know when the recital starts?
It starts at 3 o'clock, doesn't it?
What does Mike mean? Number 21.
I'll be staying at the beach with my family during spring break.
So you did decide to take the trip after all.
What did the man believe about the woman? Number 22.
Did your nieces and nephews like the gifts you got for them?
They couldn't have been more excited when they saw what I got them.
What does the man say about his nieces and nephews? Number 23.
Are you worried about having to give such a long speech in front of such a large audience?
I think I can pull it off.
What does the woman mean? Number 24.
There's a problem with your scholarship?
Unfortunately, I forgot to sign and date the documents before I returned them to the scholarship office, so the scholarship has been held up. I need to go into the scholarship office to resolve the problem.
What does the woman mean? Number 25.
Were the bills paid on time this month?
I wish they had been.
What does the man imply? Number 26.
I'm not sure if we should try to buy a house in a few years or keep on renting.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
What does the woman mean? Number 27.
Did you enjoy the sightseeing trip that you took last week?
It couldn't have been more perfect in any way.
What does the woman mean? Number 28.
Were you able to deal with the part of the exam on medieval architecture?
The topic was barely covered in the lectures, yet it was a major part of the exam.
What does the man say about the topic? Number 29.
I can't believe that there's going to be an exam tomorrow.
I wish the professor had announced the exam a little bit earlier.
What does the woman imply? Number 30.
Here's a small gift for your birthday. It's something I know you like.
So you did remember my birthday. Thank you so much.
What had the woman assumed? Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 34. Listen as a man and woman discuss a haircut.
Hi, Bob. Your hair looks nice. It's a bit shorter than usual, isn't it?
A bit shorter? I don't think so. It's a lot shorter. When I look in the mirror, I don't even know who's looking back at me.
So you got your hair cut, but you didn't get the haircut that you wanted.
This is not even close to the haircut that I wanted. I asked to have my hair trimmed just a little bit, and the hairstylist really went to town. When I looked down at the floor, there were piles of hair, my hair, on the floor. I couldn't believe it.
Well, what did you say to the hairstylist?
What could I say? The hair was already cut off. I couldn't exactly say, please put it back on, although that's exactly what I did want to say.
Well, at least your hair'll grow back soon.
That's what everyone is saying to me. It'll grow back. It'll grow back. But it won't grow fast enough to make me happy.
Maybe after you get used to it, you'll like it a bit more.
Number 31. What seems to be true about Bob's haircut? Number 32. How does Bob seem to feel about his haircut? Number 33. What did Bob see on the floor? Number 34. What do people keep saying to Bob? Questions 35 through 38. Listen to a conversation about a new solar energy plant.
I was reading in last night's paper that the utility company wants to build a solar energy plant in the desert not far from here.
Do you think that's a good idea?
A good idea? It's a great idea. Solar energy is the energy of the future. It's clean, it's safe, and it's abundant. What could be better?
Won't the utility company just raise our rates to pay for this new plant?
Well, the newspaper said that the utility company would need extra money to get the plant going, but in the long run, rates would be lower. And to have a constant supply of energy, that's a small price to pay.
I'm not convinced that the price will be small.
Number 35. How did the man learn about the new solar energy plant? Number 36. Where will the solar energy plant be constructed? Number 37. According to the man, what is a benefit of solar energy? Number 38. How does the woman feel about the proposed solar energy plant? Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 through 42. Listen to a talk to university students.
Welcome to the orientation meeting for dance majors. All of you in the room should be students who want to be dance majors. Oh, please let me introduce myself. I am Dean Peterson, the head of the dance department. If you are majoring in dance, the most important decision you have to make is which degree you will get. Let me explain. There are 2 possible degrees for dance majors, and the programs are quite different. One is geared toward performance, and one is not. The first possible major in dance is the Bachelor of Performance Arts. This is a performance-oriented degree. It is intended for students who wish to pursue a professional performance career in dance or in choreography. The second possible major in dance is the Bachelor of Arts Studies. This major is intended for those of you who are interested in non-performance dance careers, in areas such as dance therapy, dance history, dance administration, or dance education. Either major is a 4-year program, but many of the courses that you take along the way are different, so you will have to specify your degree choice early. I hope this information will help you to decide.
Number 39. Who is the speaker? Number 40. What decision do the students have to make? Number 41. A dance major with a Bachelor of Performance Arts degree might be interested in which area of work? Number 42. What is true about the dance degrees discussed in the talk? Questions 43 through 46. Listen to the following lecture by a university professor.
Please take your seats now because I would like to begin today's lecture. Today, we will be discussing one of the more elegant and distinct forms of 19th century transportation, the clipper ship. Clipper ships of the 19th century were the graceful, multi-sailed, ocean-going vessels that were designed for maximum speed. They were given the name clipper ship in reference to the fact that they clipped along at such a fast rate of speed. Clipper ships were constructed with a large number of sails in order to maximize their speed. They often had 6 to 8 sails on each of the masts, and ships commonly had 3 and perhaps 4 masts. The speeds that they achieved were unbelievably fast for the era. Clipper ships could, for example, accomplish the amazing feat of traveling from New York to San Francisco in less than 100 days. Clipper ships first came into use in the United States in the 1840s. They were originally intended to make the trip from New York around the tip of South America and on to China in order to transport tea to the United States. Once gold was discovered in California in 1848, clipper ships were immediately put into use to carry large numbers of gold prospectors and large amounts of mining supplies from the East Coast to California. With the success of the American clipper ships, the British began their own fleet of clipper ships to transport goods from the far reaches of the British Empire. That's all for today's class. Don't forget that there's a written assignment due on Friday.
Number 43. In which course would this lecture most probably be given? Number 44. What is the most likely meaning of the expression, to clip along? Number 45. What were clipper ships first used for in the United States? Number 46. What does the professor remind the students about? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to a talk on the first transcontinental railroad.
The importance to the United States of the first transcontinental railroad cannot be overrated. This railroad had a profound effect on many aspects of American life, on communication, on transportation of agricultural products and livestock to market, and the settlement of the West, to name a few. But it was no easy feat to build such a railroad. The first transcontinental railroad was undertaken in 1862 by 2 competing railroad companies. The Union Pacific started in Omaha, Nebraska, and moved westward. The Central Pacific began in Sacramento, California, and moved eastward. Of the 2, the Central Pacific had the more difficult task because it was faced with traversing the Sierra Nevadas. To lay tracks across these mountains, workers had to carve out footpaths on steep mountain faces and then use dynamite to blast out access for the railroad tracks. After years of dangerous and exhausting labor, the workers from the Central Pacific met up with the workers from the Union Pacific near Ogden, Utah on May 10, 1869. In an exuberant ceremony, the last of the tracks was nailed to the ground with a golden spike. The completion of the railroad marked the beginning of a new era in transportation.
Number 47. Who built the first transcontinental railroad? Number 48. What was difficult about the job the Central Pacific workers had to complete? Number 49. How long did it take to complete the first transcontinental railroad? Number 50. What happened at the ceremony marking the completion of the railroad?